Hopefully my broadcast stays up now. I'm Tim. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my stream. It's just a stream of my workouts. Just your average dad trying to stay in shape, having fun. It's a little frustrating, man. Today and yesterday it just keeps like dropping out, but hopefully I restarted my internet, so whatever was happening, squared away. I'm going to be working on chest and shoulders today. It is late at night, so hopefully my kids will stay asleep, which they should, and I'll be able to get this exercise done. So, I don't typically try to work out this late, but you know, when you have kids and life, it's just sometimes how it happens. Gonna be warming up with the 10-pound dumbbells. So, here we go. Oh, so far it's staying up. That's good. Hopefully it will, be faithful and true and stay up for me. That's all I want. Like really irritated if it doesn't stay up. Like just upgraded my internet. The expectation that I would have amazing service. And that's not the case. I'm severely overpaying for internet. Man, I'm hoping to get my kids into some Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. It's so hard because I want to find a good studio. But I want to find one that's not like that has good techniques and really good discipline. Good practical application. I don't like the whole McDojo setup where it's not real. It teaches like pretty techniques and you break a board that's been cooked in an oven kind of deal. I want it to be very focused on practicality. And I want them to learn discipline. I had a really good martial arts studio when I was a kid. The taught Taekwondo, and it was very well structured, a lot of discipline, a lot of focus, and I really want to find that for my kids. I had another one I went to after that I took Taekwondo and then the studio closed. Then I took karate, and karate studio I went to was a joke in comparison. And when we switched over to the karate, like I was a blue belt in Taekwondo and was getting ready to go for a brown belt when the studio closed and we switched. And so going to this karate studio, they just were, it wasn't as serious. They didn't take fighting as serious. And one of the red belts that was like a head taller than me got tired of me saying that it wasn't as good and agreed to like spar outside. And within like seconds of the sparring match, gave him a bloody nose. And it's like very clear the difference. This guy was older than me and just didn't understand fighting. And I want good, realistic self defense. There was one thing I didn't like when I got older. I would say it was not great. Is even where I was at, they taught like techniques for taking away a knife, and it's not practical. You're not taking a knife away from anyone. You should definitely not think that you can just reach over and get a knife out of someone's hands. That was a big thing back in the day. Of, oh, you gotta just block it like this, or you do this move, and you can evade and get that knife out of them. Like, no, you should just run away from a knife. I always like this story of like charge a gun, run from a knife, or do what I would do today, which is just pull out my knife, and that'll even things up a bit. Moving on to 60 pounds. So that was just a warm up. I did 10 pounds, 3 sets of 10, 20 pounds for 3 sets of 10. And now doing 60 pounds, which is 27.22 kilograms. I'd like to say it's going to be 3 sets of 10, but it's not. What's going to be as best I can do right now? Hey, what's up, Luis? Luisa? Well, thank you very much for the compliment. How you doing tonight? Today I'm working on chest and then some shoulders, provided my kids stay asleep. If they can stay asleep, then I can get stuff done. I'm not on Instagram, no. No, I don't really do any social media besides Twitch and YouTube. No, I haven't gotten into Discord. Just don't have time. Like with the kids and stuff, it doesn't leave me a lot of time to do a lot of things for myself besides this. Like I make a great trainer. I've never done it. I've only trained me, and the amount of times I've broken myself training myself, I don't know if that's a good good route for me. I hate to be responsible for somebody else breaking. I like more of the side of showing what works for me and then giving people a cautionary tale and help, motivating them to do their own thing. And I really want to work out with someone, but I think that's a good thing. Yeah, I mean, everyone's different. Like my wife, she likes to work out in a gym. Um, she feels motivated by being around other people, and I don't really care. But um, I think you should do like what gets you in, gets you working out. For me, I can work out in the gym. I can work out with people. I get more irritated in a gym space if people are being rude or being gross. So I like working out by myself by myself more. I don't like I don't like getting into a fight with people while I'm at the gym. So close to 10. Do I swim? Um, Not lately. I've done swimming. I like it. I think swimming is a great exercise. It's just hard to find a. It's hard to find time. Like my wife and I would go swim before we had kids. Um, and we were like going in the morning swimming, or I would swim at the gym, in the gym pool. But I just now it's like so many things are harder with kids. So you want to move to Laguna? Laguna Beach is nice. I've been there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That was fun. I love swimming. I love the ocean. I think the ocean is one of my favorite places to go. I like swimming in the surf. I like surfing. I like being in the big waves. Well, big waves for me is different from like big wave. I like a good 10-foot wave. It's fun. I've never done like the um big. Do I like tanning? Um, I like being tan. I don't like tanning just for the sake of tanning, but I like being tan. So I like to go outside with my shirt on and stuff as much as I can, or in tank tops and stuff, like when I'm running or exercising. But I don't like to. Um, I don't know. I get bored laying there. So rocking the dad bod, yeah. I have no shame. I've never. I don't like. Even when I'm really fat, like I'd still, you know, take off my shirt and stuff, and it's just what it is. It's just how life goes. Sometimes you feel like it makes you a bad Christian. Well, I think it comes down to your own like relationship with God. You have, I think there's a lot of things where God tells us on an individual level what's good and bad. I mean, I believe that there's very firm like instructions on certain things, but I think some things are cultural, and you have to rely on your own relationship with God to reach an understanding or to have understanding. Like I said before, we tend to be very legalistic in American society. But I think that's the extent of it. I think you talk to God, and God will tell you. God will give you His input. You know, the Bible made it very clear that God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. When we ask Him in humility to give us direction, I believe that He's faithful to do so. You know, I I think it's fine. I think it's something though that is going to depend on what kind of people you're around. I think if you're around people that can't handle it and they're going to be offended, or guys that can't control their thoughts, like, it's up to you how you view that situation. I think it's something, like I said before, talk to God. That's a thing I love about this world, is that we we tend to look for people to answer questions about God when God is made it very clear that He desires a personal relationship with us, and that you can have a personal relationship where you talk to Him. You don't have to go to someone, in an authority and lay it out for them and get them to tell you what God wants to have done. And it's clear, like when you look at the story of the woman washing Jesus' feet with the perfume, and the people's reaction to this. I think she was a prostitute touching Jesus, and how she looked at that situation, how people looked at that situation rather, versus how Jesus looked at that situation. And if that woman had gone to the elders of the church at that time, or the elders in the temple and the Sadducees, they would have said that that's not, appropriate for her. But Jesus' view on it was entirely different. And I think that's the blessing of being able to speak to God on your own. And then it makes it easier for everyone else, because the pressure of knowing what God wants you to do is on you and not on others to decipher for you. When I was in college, I went to a Bible college for a couple of years, and it was in the in Murrieta in Southern California, and it's hot. And guys would walk around in tank tops, but they felt that it was important to tell all the girls how they had to dress, and that they couldn't wear tank tops. And I thought it was an unfortunate stance to take. Like, why? I think guys should just control their eyes and their thoughts, but they wanted to put this burden on the girls to dress a certain way. And I don't know. I just think that that's, like I said, I think it can be very legalistic. So, that you're 22, and so you feel like you're coming into terms with your femininity. Have you ever hung out with female friends who were topless or without a bra in college? No. I mean, that's not something you generally run across in the U.S., right? Do you feel like you'd been cool with it, or you would find it disrespectful? I mean, I wouldn't care. Um, I would just adjust. I think it would be. Everybody would have to have adjustment period to it. I would look at what because the French and Italians have topless beaches. I would be curious to see what their churches say about it, but I wouldn't care. I would definitely like be more interested in the intention of the person, like towards myself. Like if they were doing it for the wrong reasons, then I would just, you know, avoid them. What would you look or avoid looking? I would probably notice like anybody else, but no, I wouldn't be staring. I wouldn't want to be disrespectful to my wife. Oh, I was single in my college days. Um, let's see. If I were single, I mean, I'm a man, so it's pretty easy to explain. But I would always try to be a gentleman. I believe in doing your best to be gentlemanlike. And again, it would all come down to the situation, how they were presenting themselves. I think intentionality of the person is the important thing to consider in that situation. But I argue it's a bold move. No. If I mean, that's one of those things like that's gonna happen. It would be impossible for any guy to not take at least one look. It's not in our nature to not look. I mean, there's so many things that are part of our nature that we pretend don't exist that makes it impossible. There's just things you notice. I think there's just like I think like the one that I think is prominent is how much we play off of the way people smell, not like perfume with the smell that they let off. Um, there's an experiment you can do where if you smell like someone's shirt after they've been working out, if they're happy, that sweat smell will make you happy. And you know, like that person's sweating because they're happy and it's infectious. Versus if you smell someone that's been scared or they're like stressed and they're sweating, that smell will repulse you. And if you smell it on someone, you'll automatically want to move away from them. And that's something that you can't the that we don't like discuss, or the fact that when someone passes gas, people can smell that and will know what that person ate and whether or not they want to eat it too. There's a lot of things about our bodies that we don't discuss. Would I say anything? No, I don't think there's anything to say. Man, I don't make comments to women that choose to dress in a revealing way, that they're dressing in a revealing way. No. If I noticed she was fidgety, you're not looking confident. I mean, no. I think if she, I would just say like, hey, you can relax. Like, everything's fine. I don't know. I haven't been in that situation. So. Wow, I'll keep that in mind. I would probably just ignore it. Especially if it was someone that was just a friend of mine. I would probably ignore it. We were friends. I would want to probably not discuss that side of it because we're friends. It was like if one of my guy friends was nervous and doing the same thing, I wouldn't get into the conversation with him about it. We're friends. If they wanted to talk about it, I would talk about it. All right. I'm gonna switch up the shoulders. I would assume if they would want to talk about it, they would say something about it. If they want to discuss it, then they would talk about it. It's kind of like when someone starts breastfeeding in public. I don't discuss it. I just, okay, that's what you're doing. All right, I'll see ya. Have a good night. Just warm up the shoulders with the 10 pounds. All right. Take a crack at the 50s. Hopefully this goes well. Started reading, finished reading Call of the Wild to my kids, and switched over to Treasure Island. And it's funny is they both talking about the man with one leg. Neither one of them are enthusiastic about that. The captain asks the main character, kid, to watch for this, sailor with one leg, and the kids are just already geared up to be scared of this guy. So I think it's gonna be great when we get to that. It's John Silver, and John Silver presents himself as a nice guy at first. Looking forward to it. What's up, KDDW1224? Good, man. How you doing? A while since you came here. Yeah, I moved, so it's a different garage. Right now I'm leasing, so I can't put like holes in the walls or put anything up. Hopefully the next few months we'll be buying our own house again. We just moved to a different area, so leasing for now. And they like have strict rules in the lease about putting holes in the wall to hang. So, but thank you, man. Yeah, it's been rough. I took about a month and a half off, or just shy of a month and a half, and definitely paying the consequences. Started working out again last week. Just had a lot to do. On January, my wife quit her job. She accepted this other job, so we had to start, getting our house ready to sell, which meant a lot of patching things, painting, a lot of fun. So, yeah. How are you doing? Fighting with your fat as always. Oh man. Whew, my mother-in-law came to visit, and my wife had bought like 4 boxes of Thin Mints Girl Scout cookies from my niece. So my mother-in-law brought those, and she got here yesterday and already ate a 1.5 of the boxes. So getting motivation a lot from you. Well, thanks, man. It's hard. I can only do good with eating if I don't have anything bad in the house. I just can't, man. Like, I'm so weak. I will probably eat those. There's like 2 more or 3 more boxes of Girl Scout cookies I will probably eat in the next like 2 days if I'm not careful. I'll be really surprised. I'm just horrible at it. No pain, no gain. Bible thump. There you go. The nice part is, though, with moving, my kid's school is like either I can take a mile route to my kid's school or 3/4 of a mile. So I'm getting a lot of exercise from that, taking them to school in the morning and back. I mean, every day I'm guaranteed to get either 2 to 3 miles done. That's nice. And my kids are getting faster on the scooters. Right now, my kids can do about 11-minute mile on their scooter, which is nice. It's not the fast jog, but it's a good jog for me. They can't keep going though, so 11-minute mile is all they got. After that first mile, they start to drop off pretty fast, but they'll get better. Gonna chat with me while you're on your bike. Cool. Remind me, Katie, you from Australia? Remember that correctly? There's a majority of people I talk to are either from the US or Australia, or a few from the UK. I lose track of which ones are which sometimes. I don't do much cardio. I usually get my cardio from jogging when my kids ride their bikes or their scooters. That's how I get primarily bulk of my cardio these days. But it's getting better because they can go faster and they're getting stronger, so they can go longer distances. So pretty soon they'll be able to keep me in good standing. I'm hoping that soon enough they'll both be able to go a lot faster on their bikes. The oldest one can do pretty good. The youngest one is still figuring out their way. And the hard part is that they both have training wheels. I'm hoping to get the oldest off the training wheels this weekend, and maybe the younger ones probably in a few months. And they'll be able to go really fast. I never realized like how hard it is to ride a bike with training wheels. My dad never had us on training wheels, but you can't even go too fast because if you do and you try to turn, you always crash. You can't turn right with training wheels. It's very frustrating. I think if you're good friends with somebody, just very little subjects that should be awkward. Having awkward conversations is like the perk of having good friends. I'm gonna go down to 40 pounds. All right, you just know how to phrase it. Just think clear and concise phrasing. I've never had a problem talking about awkward subjects with my friends, so I don't know. I just shoot from the hip. But I have a very high standard for what I consider a friend. I think friends are people that you can trust with anything. I think the starting line for a friend is somebody that would help you get rid of a body. For me, God forbid I'd have to get rid of a body, but that's where my gauge of a good friend starts. So when you can trust a friend with your life, there's pretty much there's very few subjects you can't have an honest conversation with your friend. But everybody has different kinds of friends. I just have a high standard of what I consider a friend. Which is why I don't have a lot of friends. A lot of people I'm friendly with. Ah, man. This is like running out of juice. No, I would just be like, okay. That's not reassuring at all. Sorry. Like I said before, I think a lot of things are they're situational, and if you're not in that situation, there's you know no clear cut way to answer some questions. You're just supposing, but I just don't. There's not a lot of things that I about that would bother me. I just okay, cool. If you wanted to have a long conversation about it, then okay, that would be your your turn to have a longer conversation about it. But I just wouldn't care. I don't care a lot about appearances. So, and the physical side of things, it's not been like something I dwell on. Like I don't care a lot about what people look like, as opposed to, and it's not because I don't notice, but as opposed to who they are as a person. Who they are as a person will show up more on their outside than they realize. That's why being, a well-adjusted, good man person is important. No matter what you dress or how you present yourself, it's not like I've seen people that are physically attractive, but they lack real confidence. They lack real understanding of themselves, and it's just doesn't do anything. It's like okay, like you're, unfortunately a hollow person, and it's not just shallow; it's just hollow. You just don't have a lot going for you. So, um, I would just give you a quick assessment if you asked. But if we were friends, I wouldn't necessarily dwell on it because we were just friends. So I'm not even entertaining entertaining that conversation for very long because we're just friends. um, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't care if we were friends and I was in college. That'd be fine. Just pick up and tell you whatever answer was true. Hopefully, you could take whatever feedback there is. But again, I was never in that situation in college, so don't couldn't couldn't tell you 100%. I imagine thinking back to my younger days, I would just give you a quick assessment and then move on. So we were friends. I wouldn't want to dwell on the subject because it's not how I the kind of subjects I would dwell on with a friend that was a girl. I think friend back then, like honest friendships with girls was rare. So I took great lengths to maintain those relationships. Like if you had a friend that was a girl and it was a good friendship, those were like hard to maintain. So having clear boundaries is like really important in those relationships. Yeah, I wouldn't be interested in getting involved with a friend. Then we wouldn't be friends. It would be something more. Go down 30 pounds. What was the girl I was saying? Well, that would be a different situation. Then that would be probably that would be a different situation entirely. I could tell you when I was in college, I would have been less concerned with looking over, more concerned with other guys looking. So I'm a very jealous person back then, and still, like, I would be a jealous person, and I'm very aggressive. So that would be a very hard situation to be in. I come from a strong Hispanic background, and machismo is like a big thing. So if my girlfriend was doing that and other guys were looking, there's a good chance I would get in a fight. It wouldn't be her fault. It would just be if they were being disrespectful.